Ain't You Got a Right to the Tree of Life? Exploring an African American environmental Bill of Rights. Warm up, going through changes.
Bird. That's what the jazz world called a young black man named Charlie Parker, who, with another young guy named Dizzy, created a whole new way of doing jazz they called bebop. But Bird must have liked his name because he named one of his signature tunes ornithology, the study of birds. So here, to honor the black birders among us, is the head, or the tune, of ornithology. Shidi-boo-dim-dim-wida-dida, shidi-boo-dim-wida-dip-boo-doo-dee, shidi-bip-dim-wida, da-da-ba-dim-dim-dim-dida, da-da-ba-dim-dim-dim-dida, shidi-boo-dim-dim-dida, diddly-diddly-diddly-dee, diddly-diddly-dee, diddly-diddly-dee. A 1, 2, 3, 4. Shidi-boo-dim-dida-dim-dida, shidi-boo-dim-dida-dip-boo-doo-dee, shidi-bip-dim-dida, do-do-bo-do-dim-dim-dida. Shoo-do-bo-do-ba-dim-dim-dida, shoo-do-bo-do-dim-dida, diddly-diddly-diddly-diddly-dee, diddly-diddly-diddly-dee, 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 doom-doom-ka-ah. Going through the changes. That's what jazz musicians call it when they're rehearsing a tune. But most of us don't mean that when we talk about something put us through a change. We mean we're seeing the trials and tribulations of life, and they give us developments that we don't particularly appreciate. Well, today we are going to talk about how we rise above the changes. And we are going to look at what we know of our lives. Ain't You Got a Right to the Tree of Life? Exploring an African American environmental Bill of Rights. Welcome.
Ain't You Got a Right to the Tree of Life? Introduction.
Some people seem to have a very difficult time hearing that Black lives matter. They want to hear that all lives matter, which of course is very true. But most of these people would be hard put to produce a montage like this, a scrapbook giving witness that in this society, the lives and health of our brothers and sisters, our husbands and wives, our elders and children, do not seem to be held in such esteem as the lives of others. So we thought that we would respond to the call of our communities with a statement made in the artscape of our hearts and straight out of our ancestors' guidebook. This is Ain't You Got a Right to the Tree of Life? We are talking about our rights to the Tree of Life for many reasons. Here are two. When these rights are intact in our lives, we are whole in body, mind, and heart. When these rights are solidly in our lives, we are grounded to move up and out, no matter where we start and no matter what changes come.
Oh, so much sweeter. Right number one. We have the right to breathe, and we have the right to breathe clean air.
Listen more often to things than to beings. Listen more often to things than to beings. 'Tis the ancestors' breath when the fire's voice is heard. 'Tis the ancestors' breath in the voice of the waters.
Bum 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 dee da dum bum bum dee da dum bum bum dee da dum. Listen more often to things than to beings. Listen more often to things than to beings. 'Tis the ancestors' breath when the fire's voice is heard. 'Tis the ancestors' breath in the voice of the water. Those who have died have never left. The dead are not under the earth. They are in the rustling trees. They are in the groaning woods. They are in the crying grass. They are in the moaning rocks. The dead are not under the earth. So listen more often to things than to beings. Listen more often to things than to beings. 'Tis the ancestors' breath when the fire's voice is heard. 'Tis the ancestors' breath in the voice of the water. Those who have died have never left. The dead have a pact with the living. They are in the woman's breast. They are in the wailing child. They are with us in our homes. They are with us in this crowd. The dead have a pact with the living. So listen more often to things than to beings. Listen more often to things than to beings. 'Tis the ancestors' breath when the fire's voice is heard. 'Tis the ancestors' breath in the voice of the water. Listen more often. Listen more often. Listen more often.
Right number 2. We have the right to clean water and the purity it brings.
We have the right to clean water and the purity it brings. Somehow it seems that African American communities, brown communities, poor communities, it's okay for us not to have water that we can actually drink. Water that doesn't poison us. But we have known clean, pure water for thousands of years. We sing about this water. We've sung about it for a long time. First, we talk about righteousness in our experience with water that will show us the baptism of the Spirit. And then we go to wade in the water. Not only do we have baptism from the water, but our ancestors knew that if you walk through the water, If you waded through the water, the dogs couldn't catch your scent, and you could get to freedom with a whole lot less trouble. Water has been important for us for a long time.
Take me to the water. Take me to the water. Take me to the water. To be baptized. None but the righteous. None but the righteous. None but the righteous. My God. Glory, hallelujah. Glory, 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 hallelujah, to be baptized. Oh, thank you, Father. Oh, thank you, Mother. Oh, take me to the water. Take me to the
And now I want you to wade in the water. Wade in the water. Wade in the water. God's gonna trouble the water. Oh, wade, wade in the water. Oh, wade, wade in the water. The water. Did you see those children dressed in white? God's gonna trouble the water. Oh, don't you know the leader? It looks like an Israelite. God's gonna trouble the water. Come on, children, now wade in the water. Wade. Children dressed in red, well, God's gonna
Right number 3. We have the right to eat, and we have the right to eat food that is healthy. Brewer Tiger and the Big Wind is from a collection of stories told in a slave quarter community in mid-19th century Virginia. Brewer Rabbit, a key figure in this story and many others like it, was a kind of everyman for many Black American communities, both enslaved and free. He was physically weak and small, but intellectually he was a giant. Enjoy this retelling by storyteller and historian Karen Wilson Ama Echefu, and that would be me.
Okay. There was this beautiful place, and all the animals were so happy with it. It had wonderful berries and lovely, delicious roots, and there was water flowing. And for some, there were fish in the water. And they loved to be there and have food to eat and water to drink. They could feed their babies, and everything was beautiful. Only one day, the rain stopped falling. And when the rain stopped falling, the berries all dried up into little raisins. And the roots all dried up into little things you could barely chew. And there was no water to drink. The only place there was anything that anybody could really eat was on Brewer's Field. On Brewer's Field, there was a big freshwater pond. And inside the pond, there were these fish. They were going bloop, bloop, bloop. And there was this huge tree. And the tree spread out with its roots all in the water. And in the tree, there were these huge pears. They were so juicy, you take a bite and the juice run all down your face like that. Ooh, something special. But there was also someone else in Brewer's Field. It was Brewer Tiger, a big Bengal tiger with big fangs and big claws. And he said, "Wow, there ain't enough for you and yours and me and mine. If you want something, you better go find your own." Wow. Now all of the animals, they were so upset and unhappy because not only were they hungry, their little babies' bellies were getting all big and their cheeks were getting all little, and they were all crying. And they were saying, "Oh, we don't know what to do. We can't get no fish, we can't get no pears, we can't get nothing." Wow. So while they're crying, Brewer Rabbit comes along, and Brewer Rabbit said, "Children, what's the matter with y'all?" And they said, "We can't get no fish, we can't get no pears, we can't get nothing. We ain't got nothing to eat. Where's our..." Brewer Rabbit said, "Oh, come on now. This ain't no thing but a chicken wing. All you need to do is make yourself a plan. If you make a plan, then you got it, baby. You got the man." So they put their heads together and made a plan. The next morning, things went like this. All the animals were at their positions in the woods right outside of Brewer Tiger's house. The bear family had clubs, and they were standing in front of a big hollow log, and they would go, boom, boom, boom. And then there were little snapping turtles in another hollow log, and they were going, pick-a-boom, pick-a-boom. And so this was beginning to build up. And then there were hawks and eagles and a big trees, all the trees going whoosh, 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 woo! And then there were little animals like the little chipmunks and the squirrels and the lizards, and they're all running around in a place with no dirt, and the dust is flying up in the air like this, and all the time they're all saying, "Tie me up, tie me up, tie me up." Whoa, it was tremendous. And then Brother Rabbit is coming down the road with a big coil of rope around his shoulder. And he's saying, "You're the big wind coming. You better tie yourself. There's a big wind coming." Now it is 5 o'clock in the morning and the sun has not yet come up. And Brother Tiger gets up out of his bed and he comes running out and he says, "What's going on? What's going on?" And Brother Rabbit said, "There's a big wind coming. There's a big wind coming. You better tie yourself." And Brother Tiger said, "Oh, what you talking about, man? Oh, big wind. You better tie me up. You better tie me up." Brother Rabbit said, "I can't tie you up. I gotta take care of all these good people." And Brother Tiger said, "Oh, come on, man. Don't worry about them. Tie me up. Tie me up." And Brother Rabbit said, "Okay." So then he went over to the farthest tree he could find. And he tied up Brother Tiger. He tied him this way. He tied him that way. He tied him this way. He tied him that way. And Brother Tiger said, "Is that enough?" Brother Tiger said, "No, man, that ain't enough." And so Brother Rabbit said, "Okay." He tied him this way. He tied him that way. He tied him this way. He tied him that way. He said, "That enough?" Brother Tiger said, "Yeah, that's enough." So Brother Rabbit then is saying, hold on, people, stop. If you need anything, go get it. You need water, go get water. You need fish, you go get fish. You need pears, go get pears. And feed your families. And if you need more, come back and get it. And we hope we never have to treat anybody in this terrible fashion again, to teach them how to be a good neighbor. The end.
As Brother Tiger and the Big Wind shows us, sometimes strategy can help us overcome. We learn from The People Could Fly that there may be higher and deeper ways to meet our need. Right number 4. We have the right to move freely and in safety.
There was a time, they say, in the ancient days in Africa, that there were people who could fly. And they would take off into the sky, blackbirds against a blue, blue ceiling, fluttering through the clouds. But then, when they and their children were brought to this country, their wings didn't fit on the ships. It was too dirty, it was too terrible. And so they left their wings in Africa. But what they knew of flight, what they knew of themselves, stayed inside of themselves, along with all that magic. And this is the story of a day when a number of those people who could fly, they were at the end of what they could accept, what they could take. And they made a choice. They made a choice for change. There was a young woman, we can call her Sarah. And Sarah had a baby. Sarah had a baby that she kept on her back, like African women do. And she was working in the field, in the rows. It was hot, hot, hot. She was tired. She took the baby with her so she could feed the baby. The baby got hungry. The baby started to cry. And when the baby cried, the man who thought he was supposed to oversee her, the man who thought he was supposed to make her do when she couldn't do anymore, he was the one that carried the whip. And he said, "Shut that thing up!" And she tried, but she couldn't reach the baby and keep working at the same time. Now there was, and he took the whip and he cracked it over her. And the baby, like any baby, it hit the baby and the baby started to wail. And then the old man, we could call him Baba, we could call him Daddy. He came over to her and he said, "Sweetheart, baby, 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 hold on, hold on." And she's saying, "I can't hold on much longer. Can't." Finally, she tried again to work. She tried again to work, and she fell down in the row. And the man came and cracked the whip again, and this time it hit her ankle, her leg, and the blood dripped into the ground. He came over to her to see if he could help her again. She said, "Please, please send me before it's too late." So he began to say the words, "Chukwu kikiabiama goziegi. Chukwu kikiabiama goziegi. Ganulo, ganulo, ganulo." And she began to raise up. Chukwu kikiabiama goziegi. Chukwu kikiabiama goziegi. Goziegi, goziegi, ganulo, ganulo. And she began to rise up from the ground and circle the field. And she began to fly. She flew like people walking upstairs. She flew like people walking on wind, like people go over a gate. And there were others in the field, others that he had taught, others that he had shown, and they began to straighten up. Goziegi, 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 ganula, ganula. And the man who thought they owned them, he came running. He came running with his gun. He gonna shoot him. "We paid good money for you. Come back here." But they laughing, surrounded the field, stepping up on the air like steps, stepping up on the air like they were going to crawl over a gate. And they began to laugh, and they began to fly. And then the man with the whip said, "It's the old man, get the old man." And the old man said, "Ha, ha, ha, ha. Do you know who I am?" He said, "Chukwu kikiabiama goziegi. Chukwu kikiabiama goziegi. I'm a mevo nulo, nulo." And he said, "I'm going home." And he began to walk up on the air like steps. He began to circle the field, and he took off. He went because he was ready for change.
Hey now, girl. You know them wings ain't just for hard times, right? Whenever you need to, you just spread them wings and fly. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. No more wondering who you are. Spread your wings so you can fly. Way up beyond the troubles in the sky. Go on, fly. Twinkle, little star. No more wondering who you are. And you be on the wings of love. Up and above the clouds. The only way to fly is on the wings of love. On the wings of love. Yes, you can fly away together, flying high, yeah. Flying high upon those wings of love. You got it. Go on, girl. Go on, girl.
Taking a leaf out of the Ancestors' Guidebook has brought us directly to their most sacred form of worship. This is our Ring Shout remix. The ring is the place where many sacred African worship traditions came together into one Black Christianity. This is right number 5. We have the right to feel and to heal.
we gotta ride.
We gotta ride.
Hey, we gotta ride.
Hey, we gotta ride.
Hey, we gotta ride.
Hey, we gotta ride.
To the tree of life.
To the tree of life.
Oh, tell all our mother.
Tell all my mother.
Tell all our father.
Tell all our father.
Hey, we gotta ride.
Hey, we gotta ride.
To the tree of life.
To the tree of life.
Oh,
Tell all my sisters.
tell my sister.
And tell all my brothers.
Oh, tell all my
brother. Hey, we gotta ride.
Hey, we gotta ride.
To the tree of love.
To the tree of life.
Oh, hey, we gotta ride.
Hey, we gotta
ride. Hey, we gotta ride.
Hey, we gotta
ride. Hey, we gotta ride.
Hey,
we gotta ride to the tree of love.